Hi everybody, do you like poems? I like poems very much. The reason is, as Wordsworth said, poetry is a spontaneous overflow of powerful feelings and emotions that are recollected in tranquility. Yes, definitely, poetry is a magical overflow of our feelings and emotions. See, besides, there will be many poetic devices, many figures of speech. They are actually the decorative language. For example, simile will be there, personification, hyperbole, alliteration, metaphor, assonance, imageries, symbols, oxymoron, paradox. Many poetic devices will be there. And why these poetic devices using in poems? The reason is these poetic devices or these figures of speech will drag the poem into multiple levels of meaning, elevated grandeur meaning. And anyway, I like poems very much. Today, I want to discuss a poem with you. And the title of the poem is Mother to Son. Mother to Son. Actually, the poem is a beautiful motivational poem and written by Langston Hughes, American poet. See, his full name is actually James Mercer Langston Hughes. We can shortly call him as Langston Hughes. And one more thing, see, in poems, actually poem is a fictional writing, right? See, literature, what is literature? Literature is simply, we can call literature as a combo or a combination of fictional writing and non-fictional writing. See, fictional writing, that means imagination works there. For example, story, poems, novella, drama, and so on. Non-fictional writing, there no imagination but reality, or what is real, factual detail, fact that is needed. There is no space for imagination. Anyway, poetry is a fictional writing. In poetry, many genres are there. See, many types of poems are there. Epic poems are there. Ode type of poems are there. Sonnet type of poems are there. Then ballad types of poems. See, many types of poems. And dramatic monologue poem. This poem, Mother to Son, is a dramatic monologue poem. So what is dramatic monologue? There are certain conditions. The first condition, there will be two or more characters. The second condition, the characters, see the speaker, there will be one speaker and one or more listeners. The speaker is active speaker. She or he will speak continuously till the poem ends. But the listener is a passive listener. He will not speak anything till the poem ends. But he will be there. He will listen every words of the speaker. So in short, dramatic monologue poems, they are the type, the dramatic monologue means it's a type or a category of poem. There, an active speaker will talk continuously to a passive listener. So such kind of poems are simply called as dramatic monologue poems. Now we are going to discuss a dramatic monologue poem. I told you the title of the poem is Mother to Son. And the writer, Langston Hughes, a famous American poet. So students, here when we come to this poem, from the first title itself, we can see that this is a dramatic monologue poem. How? See the title Mother to Son. So two characters are there in this poem. And mother is the speaker. We can guess mother is the speaker and the son is the listener. So mother is the active speaker, whereas son is the passive listener. This is a dramatic monologue poem. And in the poem we can see that mother tells, life for me ain't be no crystal stair. Actually here mother gives a valuable advice to her son. She tells, life for me ain't be no crystal stair. That means she tells her life was not a beautiful crystal stair. There a comparison is there. And that comparison is called as metaphor, a poetic device. So what is metaphor? Comparison without using like or as is called as metaphor. Simile is the comparison with using like or as. For example, she is like a flower. That is simile. She is compared with a flower with like. Okay, she is a flower. That is metaphor. He is like a lion. That is simile. He is a lion. That is metaphor. So metaphor is the comparison between two things without using like or as. That is metaphor. And here we can see that mother's life is compared with a crystal stair, but there is no presence of like or as. So we can call it as a poetic device, metaphor. Then she tells it had tacks, splinters, and boards torn up. She tells in the staircase of her life there were tacks, splinters, and boards torn up. These three things, they are symbols, represent the difficulties of mother's life. And you know, the difficulties of mother's life, actually this is, I told you in the beginning, I told you this is not only an advice given by mother to son, but this advice have a universal feature. Everyone can accept this advice because we have to go ahead to get success. Anyway, mother tells in her life there was no carpet on the floor, bare. The word bare indicates poverty. And the carpet is another symbol. See, she tells in her staircase of life there was no carpet. Why we are using carpet? For two things. First of all, to walk smoothly, and the second one for beautification. So mother tells in her life of staircase there was no carpet. That means mother tells in her life of staircase there was no smooth walk and there was no any beauty. Okay, so she points out the difficulties of her life. Then she tells sometimes there were dark, no light. See, the dark and light, the two words, again symbols. Dark represent difficult situations in our life, struggling hours or sadness, whereas light, that is happiness, beautiful moments in our life. So mother tells full of sad in her life, many struggling hours, many disappointing moments were there. No light of happy, no light of beauty. But she tells, even though, that is a point, even though I am climbing the staircase of my life still. She tells, my life is, my life is not a crystal stair, but even though I love my life, I have climbed the staircase of my life. Still, I am climbing the staircase of my life. That is motivation. In everyone's life, there will be difficult situations, problems, barriers, hindrance. But we have to move again. We have to rise. We have to walk to get success. So for that, we should have a hope, a mind of optimism, but not pessimism. So then mother tells, my dear son, so boy, don't you turn back. In your life also, these kind of difficult situations will be there in your life also. But don't be fall. Don't be sad. You have to move again. Don't be fall. You have to move again. You have to rise. You have to walk and you have to get success. So for that, you should have a mind of optimism, full of hope, confidence, not pessimism. She tells, look at me, my life. I'm still climbing the staircase of my life. Life for me ain't be no crystal stair. Life for me ain't be no crystal stair. See, this particular line is again and again repeating in this poem. So that is another poetic device. What is that? Refrain. Refrain is the repetition of lines in a poem. Then in short, mother tells, in everyone's life there will be problems, difficult situations. But don't despair. In everyone's life there will be tacks, splinters and boards torn up, because everyone's life is like a staircase. But don't be despair. You have to move again. You have to go ahead and you have to get the success. So this is an inspiring poem. This is an inspiring or motivational poem. This is not only just an advice given by mother to son, but this advice have a universal feature. Everyone can accept this advice in our life. So imageries, another poetic device used in this poem. Visual imageries. What do you mean by visual imageries? the words that can draw a picture in our mind when we go through it. For example, tacks, splinters, boards, staircase. These are the visual imageries used in this poem. So in short, these poetic devices make the poem more meaningful, more enjoyable, more elevated grandeur sense with this valuable great advice or theme. So students, hope you understood. The poem Mother to Son is a dramatic monologue poem. Their mother gives a valuable advice to her son, and I told you many poetic devices used there in this poem. For example, metaphor, symbols, visual imageries, refrain, and so on. And I told you this is not only an advice given by mother to son, but a universal feature is there. Everyone can accept this advice in our own life to get a flavor of success. Anyway, bye all. Thank you.